everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
And good day. um, so we're exactly on time. We're on time, 8 o'clock. Yeah, and today I have my co-host with me.
Hello.
He's debuting today. So I'm the mom. He's the boss. I'm kidding. And a real boss is somewhere else. So tonight we are very, very fortunate that we have our special guest. Dave and Roxanne, coaches Dave and Roxanne, and I'm very thankful that I've reached out to them and they humbly accepted my request and spare a bit of their time with us today. So let's start off. No dilly dallying. Let's get on with this.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us here. We're honored to be guest speakers here for you guys.
Great.
We
Thank
are
you.
honored as well. And welcome to our interview. This is episode 2 of Boss Mom Talk. And I'd like you to meet my husband.
Hello.
He's my silent partner.
I'm just reading the comments at the moment. First time to do this.
Yeah.
Great to see me.
Yeah. So yeah, my sister's supporting us. Yes. Anyway, thank you so much. And can you tell us a bit about yourself, because we really wanted to know who you are. We've only watched you in our masterminds in our community, and we saw some of your ads as well. So we really wanted to know you. This is the first time we've met virtually. So
yes. We're a couple. We're married. My name is Roxanne and
Dave. Yeah.
Dave. We're living right now in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I moved here myself with my parents and my siblings in 2004 from the Philippines, and I met my husband in 2007.
Yeah, no, we actually met on our the first time we met was in business, offline business. We're in the financial services business, and Roxanne, I was her manager, so I managed her really well because I married her. And I think that was when the entrepreneurial drive started, because Roxanne mentioned to me that one of her dreams was to actually retire her parents, and when she mentioned that, like, it really kind of sparked a dream in me too, because my dad died when I was 3 years old, and my mom, when I moved to Canada in '96, we found out 3 months later that she had breast cancer. So a year later, she died. So I said, you know what, I don't have a chance to do that, so I want to help your parents. So that was when we met, and we both were professionals. I graduated as an engineer, it sounds fancy, aeronautical engineer, but it's the lowest engineering paid out of all the engineers. And what did you do?
I graduated here in Canada as a paralegal.
Yeah.
But I realized that our income is not enough if we want to help our parents retire, right? So that's why we have good jobs, but it's only for just the two of us, and and also in our future kids. But we realized we had to do something, and that's why we've always been looking. We've always been doing businesses, other things, and I thought myself to have to go to another level for my education, but I realized it's not something that I want to do. So that's why we ventured other businesses as well prior to online business.
That's right.
Oh, really? That's pretty good. I like what you said about engineering, because I'm also an engineer.
Oh, really?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Oh.
I don't know where the hierarchy is in
you know what? I did aeronautical, and what gets paid a lot here at the time was oil and gas, petroleum engineering. So not anymore too much, but at the time it was that. And the other thing about the engineering I took was that I didn't realize it, there was no jobs in where I was. So I had to move on a different province. So anyway, that was the previous career.
So, me growing up, as an engineer, or as someone that works for somebody, that was always my mindset. Never thought about starting a business or anything like that. And looking into businesses, I thought, oh, this is, beyond me, something that's difficult. So how did you find out about the business that you're in now? I mean, and what was
Yeah.
your impression about it?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking that. Let me go back to what you just said. As an engineer, I'm Filipinos, and Filipinos knows this, that we're big into our parents telling us, go to school, get good grades, graduate. You should be,
Exactly.
you should be set for life in that company. That was good advice back in the industrial age. But I picked up the book. The first book that was really changed my mindset when it comes to finances was a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you guys heard of that before?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was like 10 years ago. That's the one of the first finance book I've read, because I didn't want to read any books after. I was like, oh, I'm done school. Thanks be to God. I'm not going to read anything. But my brother gave me that book. That's when my mindset changed about finances. That there is a different way. There's
Yeah.
a thing as entrepreneurship. So that's why we never stop. But we failed a lot. That's the thing about the journey of an entrepreneur. It's never a straight line. It's just like up and down. Prior to finding this 19 months ago, we failed a lot. But I found it first through an ad, Facebook ad, right? But we failed a lot. So when I showed it to Roxanne, she wasn't really interested, right?
Yeah, so I didn't want to look at another opportunity, right? Because I thought that this was be something that will fail us again, and
Yeah.
I was like almost gonna give up on that entrepreneurial journey. And I think it took him maybe 4 months.
I had to put on my best charm. See this? I had to have smile bigger.
Yeah, like it took him many months to convince me, because I know myself that if I look at something and it's amazing and it's legit and something that that's powerful, right, I would be excited again. So what he did is he just kept showing me normal everyday people that are getting results, people that are older than us, people that don't know how to speak English and getting results. And I was like, wow, if these people can do it, certainly we can do it. And that really intrigued me to just watch the workshop, the free workshop that you guys are offering, we're offering, right? And that's the history.
And to Roxanne's kind of defense, and I understand where she's coming from, because at that time when we started, we were not in a good place. We were $86,000 in consumer debt due to a consumer and business failure debt. So, and it was mostly my fault because I'm very entrepreneurial and like do this without even researching stuff. So, so that's why it was hard to to get her on board. But I'm grateful she did.
Yeah, it's funny, you see, because we're exactly the opposite. I mean, you, as you mentioned, you've been doing your, business ventures a while, and before you jump into this business. But me and Aaron, we're the type of couple that would never risk on anything.
Okay.
So it took us a while to jump into this business, but maybe not that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe if we saw this on Facebook as an advertisement, we will never do it, because it's like. But because our sister told us to watch the webinar, she actually told us many times. We're quiet, and then said, "Okay, let's just watch it."
Yeah. Awesome.
So, what made you jump into this business? That made you finally decide to do it? What get you attracted with the business?
Yeah, I always tell people, and this is some of the personal development and some things we learned throughout the journey, that we always have this. As an entrepreneur, you need to have a win-win mindset, which means that most people think that either you win or you lose. That's what most people think, right? But an entrepreneur should have a win-win mindset. So all those failures were not failures for us, anyways. Those were learning experience, because as soon as we saw this, because of all our different failures, we've done so many different ventures, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We've seen it. As soon as we saw the business model, instantly we knew it was good, because of all the failures that we had, right? And I think really one of the biggest component that a lot of business we've tried is that it has a missing piece, and that missing piece really is the component where they teach you how to market in social media, and that's a big thing, because every business, right, doesn't matter where you are, offline, online, right, everybody's biggest problem is acquiring customers. And I always talk about this, that Uber and Airbnb. Have you guys heard of them? Uber and Airbnb, right? What happens is that when you bring an innovation to an old industry, it revolutionizes it. the taxi industry has been here for a long time, right? But
Yeah.
Uber comes in, they're the biggest taxi company that doesn't own a taxi. Why? Because they have a platform that allows normal everyday people, and it solves the biggest problem, which is acquiring customers. Jump in the platform, you get customers. That's how Airbnb, same thing. They're the biggest hotel chain that doesn't own a hotel. Same thing. Platform solves the biggest problem. And I think when we saw this instantly, we knew this was a solution to an old industry, which is direct sales, and they're a good industry, but same problem with that. And when we saw it, it was like this is what we're looking for, and thanks be to God, we were right.
Yeah, that's the one that really helped us decide that this is something that fits our lifestyle, because we've done we've done hotel presentations, one-on-one coffee meetings, and that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But this one, it's really like, for us, it's the easiest business.
Yeah.
We can say that truly
Because
because
of the
of our
failures.
previous experiences that we have. So that's why we jumped in after many months, right?
Yeah.
But do you actually have a background in digital marketing, like what we're doing
No, we
right
don't.
now?
We don't. No, we
Like
don't.
things like
That's a good question. We don't, and the good thing is our training is step by step. We
Yes.
don't really need anyone that has, that has background in it. You just have to.
You just have to be willing to learn, and it's like going to a school, right? When you come into a new degree, you don't know anything, right? So just like on this digital marketing, we have no idea what leads, how to market online, how to post or anything like that, but we learned, right?
Yeah.
So
And
that's
when I do coaching calls, I tell people it's kind of like I tell them, think of this as taking an MBA. They're like, it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by MBA? I said, well, think about it. Let's say if you take this for 2 years, maybe you didn't earn anything, which is, it may seem that's impossible in our case, but let's say you didn't earn anything, but after 2 years, right, your starting income is 10,000 a month, which is possible, right? Depends on your effort. 10,000 a month. You have no boss, and you can be anywhere in the world. Do you agree that's worth taking the course? It was like, yeah, absolutely. It's like the MBA for me doesn't mean Masters of Business Administration. For me, it means massive bank account, right? That's
right.
possible to really earn massive bank account, because we're talking about online. There's no cost, right? So
I'll take note of that for my coaching calls. Yeah.
I tell you, people take a 4-year course, and the expectation in the 4 years is that you don't get paid for 4 years. You invest money, time, effort, and at the end you have a starting salary. I said, if you have that same mindset, like from what we've experienced so far, we're not even talking about 4 years, talking maybe 2 years of really focused effort, learning how to become an online marketer. Because I always tell people the only way you can get paid more is to become more valuable to the marketplace. That's why you get paid more. You become an engineer because we can, we get paid more because we're more valuable to the marketplace. But what's the value here? Learning online marketing. That's it. If we can bring customers to any business, they would love to work with you, right?
Yeah.
That's true. And we work so hard to achieve our degree, like for years, and then we work for someone for a long time, and then sometimes our pay don't go up, and it's like we have a cap in our income. But with businesses, there's actually no limit. So when you jump into the business, how long did it take you to set up and start running your business?
So we work together as a couple. So I do most of the back end. So it took us maybe a week or 2 weeks to set up our online business, and then we got results within a month. So, but then of course, for us, of course, income varies depending on your on your work ethic as well, right? And your effort. For us, it took us maybe 6-7 months before we started earning right away. But then our first 5-figure, we started earning like after 7 months or so. So, and then since then, we never had a lower month, lower than the 5-figure per month.
And for the viewers that are watching, I will tell them, like we always talked about this in a workshop, that it's not a get rich quick, right? It's like a career. It's like a career move, right? Like 4-year effort. So when I do coaching calls, I always talk about that. Like the business has 3 phases. Phase number 1 is that you have a lot of effort in the beginning. Your own effort and stuff like that. Eventually, it's like a baby in the beginning, right? You have to feed it, right? And then eventually, it's gonna become an adult. It can feed itself.
That's
and then
true.
Eventually, it can become a teenager. It can feed itself, and then eventually become an adult. It will feed yourself and your dreams and your goals. That's what a business is. I have a friend. She has a traditional franchise.
Mm.
3 years just to get her money back.
Yeah.
She put in 200,000 of I don't know if there's a Jugo juice in where you guys are, but it's a juice franchise.
Never heard of it. No.
Yeah, it's in Canada. It's pretty famous. It's like a juice franchise.
Yeah.
Took her 3 years just to get her money back. And
Yeah.
in the online space, we're not talking about that, but there is still a phase, right? And for us, it was 6 months, which is pretty incredible. But what if it's gonna take you a year? Yeah, what if it's gonna take you a year or 2 years? Would it be worth it? Like the MBA, I would say it would be, right?
That's true. For us, it took us 8 months to get our money back.
Wow.
And because we don't have business background and everything.
Yeah, so it's
Before
all-
that, we were looking for. You were looking.
Well, yeah, we were looking for all different types. I mean,
Oh.
I'm a teacher right now, so
Wow.
it can be difficult at times.
Yeah.
But you look for alternatives. You know,
Mhm.
like you said with the Rich Dad and Poor Dad,
looking for change.
you do look for change and a different mindset.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that you can learn. There is an alternative than go into a 9 to 5 job or whatever hours you do. And there's a lot out there, but it can be a little bit difficult when you have not got that background, and you can be apprehensive because you got that security. But of course, if you want to, you have to try and break that mold and go for it.
You got it.
Take that risk.
Yeah.
But also, so moving on with this, I've got another question here. I don't know if it's going to be a tough one, but we know you're Christians,
Yeah.
just like we are Christians.
Yeah.
One of the things, when you're growing up as a Christian, you read the Bible and you think to yourself, God says, be content with what you have. Don't be greedy, in other words. How do you sort of fit that into the sort of mold as being a Christian, but also striving to be successful?
Yeah, I really love that question, because I think this was our defining moment. Because even before, this platform we're in, we were already trying to kind of break into the online space. We were doing videos and stuff, and we were always separating our faith and and the business. We would have a different page for the business and a different page for faith, because we don't want to kind of mix it. But what we realize is that we're only going to work with the people that likes us, right? So and here's, I follow one of my favorite authors. He's from the Philippines. His name is Bo Sanchez, and he's one of his sayings. He has a group called the Truly Rich Club, and he talks about the ultimate purpose of wealth is to love. That's the ultimate purpose of wealth, is to love. The reason why we gain more wealth as a Christian is to love, right? Love your neighbor. That's what we do. So when we love it's really, you can be content, but if you want to be hungry to love more, that's why you want to acquire more wealth, because you want to give more to your ministry, give more to your family, you give more, there's a lot. We could be content, but we've got to be able to help others. We are the extension of God, and that's in the way we can do it practically is to become successful in where we are and really extend that, right?
Yeah, and also really, like, there's, because sometimes I had this problem too, like about sometimes we don't want to be rich because we have maybe people that we that they're rich but they're greedy, right? So it's really about like finding scriptures that support that God wants you to be rich, because even David and other like Joseph and every figures, biblical figures, they're also successful, and God blessed them because they know how to manage their finances. So us, the more we become successful, of course, the more temptations there will be. So every day we have a different prayer that for the past 2 years, I think we've been molded, because we always pray that only give us something that's good for us, that's good for other people, and also to always be grounded, help us always be humble, always like remind us, because you will be tempted, right? But like we try to find people that are great, that are rich, and good people that are generous, because wealth is just a tool. It's neutral. It's not good or bad. It's really like it expands who you are. So if you're a good person already,
you can do more.
you can do more about it, right? So I think it's really
It's a good
like
question.
changing the mindset, like because
Mhm.
sometimes we, with the surroundings and the media, sometimes we can have that a wrong mindset about money. But it's I know it's hard sometimes, but we really have to change that mindset by
Definitely.
finding good role models.
In fact,
right?
we kind of brought it down one more further. We have a mission statement. Our mission statement is we want to help good people become rich. Because if
Yeah.
we put more money to good people, right, more good will be done.
I suppose, when you have that, when you have the money, you have the choices.
Yeah,
When you don't have it, you can't make the choices that you want
Right.
to make a better environment or help your community or whatever project that you want.
absolutely. Yeah, great question. I never asked that. I've never been asked that question before. That was good.
Yeah, that's why actually I reached out to Roxanne, because when I saw I think your interview and your ads, it's your ads that really caught my attention, because you were mentioning in your ads, we're looking for God-fearing people. I was like, it's like, like I want to talk to like-minded people, and we're doing exactly the same thing. That's our purpose. It's not because we wanted to get rich, because we have a ministry that we wanted to do. We're actually doing it right now, but in a small way, because we can't generously give something if we don't have it.
Yeah.
But we want to do more, to be more extra generous.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, oh, we have to talk to them and reach out to them. So, yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah. So our next question is, now that you're in this business, how did it affect your life, and is there a change in your lifestyle that that's different from previous lifestyle that you did before? I mean, like, was there
Yeah,
a difference?
there's quite a bit. First of all, I say this jokingly, but when you have flexibility, right? When you're not worrying about debts anymore, right? Your smile is a little bit bigger, right? Your jump is a little bit higher, right? Your hug is tighter, right? And you just have hope for the future. That's kind of like the joke I say, but it changed a lot. We started with $86,000 in consumer debt, and when you can get rid of all of that and you can sleep good at night, you can think better, you can be more creative, and you can serve better, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right, Lily. Like when we're able to give more to the ministry, to our church, and last year in October we're able to sponsor our youth to a conference. So that was really good because
That's good.
like our community basically can only afford, let's say, like at the time, like 10 people, but then we want more people that could come, so we just put more money into it, right? And I think it's amazing, and also being able to treat our families here and there, and traveling, that we don't have to worry when we go home because it's cash, so it feels good that we don't have to go into debt just to travel, right? So I think it feels good. And of course, Dave became full time on this online business in March.
Yeah, and
So
we're pretty conservative. I mean, as we mentioned, since July of 2019, we were already making over 10,000, but we didn't quit right away. So we wanted to test the sustainability of what we can do. And it proved to be. And I wasn't that wasn't part of my goal to quit my job, but I guess you have to. I'm passionate more in helping people now. So.
Yeah, that's one of my goals, to let him quit his job. Yeah,
it happens. It's happening.
So going into this business, of course, there's sometimes ups and downs. Sometimes, what for us, it's not like always high. So do you have some fears as well? And how do you manage that? And how do you cope with those fears or anxiety when it comes to business?
Yeah, good question. Again, I always, one of the reasons I think we were able to overcome those quickly, some of those ups and downs, because this is what business is all about, right? The difference between employee as an entrepreneur is that it's always uncertainty, right? You don't know up and down, right? The reason why employees can have certainties because the owners of the company took the risk ahead of time, right?
That's right.
That's why they have freedom, the owners, because we're giving others. So now we're becoming the CEO of our own company, so we're also taking the shoes of them, right? So up and down. And the reason why I think we're able to kind of surpass those very quickly is because of our previous failures. We've failed a lot already. So for us, when some of the challenges in this business, just like any business, right? Everyday operation, sometimes something happens with technology, all those things. Facebook and all that stuff, we just kept past them very quickly. Is because of we've already been learned how to become emotionally detached.
Yes.
There's a difference, IQ and EQ. IQ is for education, intelligence quotient. You've got to be smart and all that stuff. But in business, it's EQ. You got to emotional quotient stands for can you get excited until you get the job done, or when something happens, right? You just get emotionally so low that you quit, right? But if you can go through the ups and downs with your emotion, that's how you can win in business, right?
Yeah, and also I think it's really about emotions, like, because nowadays if things are not going well, let's say, or what we like to be, sometimes we have to remind each other that it's part of business, right? It's not, we don't take it personally anymore, because sometimes it hurts emotionally, right? But we just shrug it off and then just find a way to make it work. And I think that's why I thank God for the past failures that we had, because this one is a little bit easier than what we had before. And really, it's about trusting that we have this goal, for example, and we had to remind each other it's going to happen. So whatever will happen in between is part of it. So the understanding that it will happen in God's time, then we were able to trust and to relax more.
Yeah, well, one of the verses that I hold on to is Habakkuk 2:2 and 3. And it talks about, if you write the vision and make it plain, right? He who sees it may run to it, even though it tarry. That means it may take a long time. But if you wait for it, it will come in an appointed time. So basically, that means it's a done deal if you write it down, right? And you just got to pursue and wait for it, and it's going to come. So that's one of the things that we hold on to. And we're like everybody, even though we have those failures, like, is this gonna happen for us?
Yeah.
Those things you always ask yourself. They can do it, but can we do it? Right? So we had that too, right? Everybody has that, but we just kept pressing forward.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to get distracted when you don't have results, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's inevitable that you will find difficulties and hardships along the way with anything that you do. And it's having that right mindset. Just keep going, seeing that end goal in sight.
Yeah.
So, how is what's your typical day like?
Yeah. So, you know what? To be honest, like I always say this in my coaching call. The most time you spend is really setting up the business. Once it's set up,
right?
If you depends on how your day looks like, but it doesn't take a lot to run an online business, right? I guess because now we're coaches, that's will take the bulk of our time. But I would say maybe like spend 2 hours a day, maybe 2 to 3 hours a day to run this business. Depends on what the day looks like. Some days probably not much. Roxanne still works, so
so Dave quit, because I know there's a question from Sharon. He quit his job in March 2020. So he's now full time. But me, I'm still working 9 to 5, right? Or 8 to 4:30, right? My finance job. So I work during my break time. I work during my lunchtime and after work sometimes, but it's not a lot because it's really inquiries, right? Once you set up your online business, for example, really it's a lot of more like maintenance, and I love it because you don't have to see people and personally, and you don't have you only talk to people that are eager to learn, right?
Yeah,
So
interesting.
and then of course with Dave, his day is mostly like coaching people.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And it really, like I mentioned earlier, we really love this system. The reason why is because when we were in the financial service industry, we had to see clients in their homes, right? And maybe I could see the max maybe 5 in a day. That's even like a hard day, like you see people, right? But with leverage online, our system can see way more than that in one day, right? Which is really, really, really powerful. So
yeah, that's true. And it was funny because last month I made more than his salary. So it's like I only spend 2 hours every night, or 2 to 3 hours, and then he's there and you're working full time, which is really amazing, right?
Congratulations.
So where do you see yourself from now? Business plan, long-term plans?
Yeah, I mean, our ultimate goal, really, as we kind of mentioned always in our whys, is that we want to retire her parents, Roxanne's parents. That's our ultimate goal. I mean, we're probably 5 years away from doing that, or 3 years, depends on how the business will go.
Yeah.
But as far as long term, we really see ourselves really helping a lot of people in this business because it helped us. We want to help out a lot of people, and one of our other goals is like, because we have business partners all over the world. When COVID-19 is done, we want to,
Yeah, that's the
we want
plan.
to see those people.
Yeah, we want to travel, and because it's amazing because you can really earn anywhere, right? Wherever you are. So that's our
Yeah.
goal. Maybe spend time like 3 months in the Philippines or something, and then earn money, right? We don't have to be here during winter,
Hawaii.
and then Hawaii or Australia, right? Or UK as well, Europe. So
Yeah.
those are the things that's long term. That's what we love to do.
Yeah.
And then being able to impact and share God's love through social
Yeah.
media, through the business as well. So
Yeah.
that's the long term goal.
Oh, great. So, what do you say to people that are still sort of skeptical, like our old selves?
Yeah. I always say this, that they need to look into it, because I always tell people, when there's an innovation, there's three kinds of people. The first people is the skeptical people. They're really not sure, right? The second kind of people are the happy consumers. They love using social media, using internet, right? But I always tell people, like, if there are people profiting, like especially what's happening with coronavirus, Jeff Bezos is now making way more money than, like,
Yeah.
if there's profiting on the other side of that consumer purchase, there has to be people making money, right? So the third kind of people are not only the happy consumers, but the third kind of people are profiting from this shift, right? Of happening. So first of all, I want to say that you got to look into this. That this is actually now a viable. I actually call this a career move. It's a viable career move, right? That if you really get education and learn it, it's possible to earn, like normal income, and even way more than the engineering career, whatever careers we used to have as a teacher or whatever. You could really do it. And I always joke around, like, when you ask kids now, back in the days, when you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to become a pilot. I want to become an engineer. I want to all this stuff.
Mhm,
You ask them now, what do you want to be?
I want to become a YouTuber.
Right? no, the reason why is because that's it. That it's real. Internet is real. People
Yeah,
are,
we're in that age now.
yeah. So
Yeah, and also, like, just for me, because I used to be skeptical, right? Just be open. A lot of people are skeptical because one is they have bad experience before.
Yes.
Second is they're not educated, meaning to say they're just not aware of it.
they
So
don't understand
they
it.
don't understand it. So our encouragement is just be open about it. Like, let go of the past failures, let go of your expectations. Just be open, because either you're gonna be forced to learn in the future,
Yeah.
or you're just gonna stay there, right? Or like for me, like, I have to be in a place where I had to be forced, right? Like, we lost our jobs before and everything, but you really have to be open, I think, because that's the only way you can teach yourself again, right?
Yeah. So it's like, what if you were skeptical, but what if you're skeptical and you're just being open, and you know what, you're actually right, that this will actually work for you.
Yeah.
So there's no harm in just
I
finding
think
information.
also being humble that our way is not working. So these people, Lily, all of us are getting results online.
Yeah.
So why not be humble and start educating yourself? I think it's worth checking out, right?
That's
So,
right, definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, thank you
Yeah,
so much. We've got a lot of golden nuggets from what you said. How I wish my brain could remember everything, but it's a good thing
It's recorded.
it's
right?
recorded. I hope so. Oh dear. Anyway,
You guys ask good
all
questions,
of
right?
at the end of our interview, I wanted to ask more, but maybe next time.
Yeah, for
No
sure.
worries. God bless in your journey, and hopefully, I want to say this. Every time I have a guest in my episode, or they always reach a milestone in a few weeks or two, in a few months or a few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So hopefully we can do that
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, and
We'll receive that already. We'll accept it.
Yeah, so if you want to reach your milestone, come in my interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time, your precious time. I know you're very busy. You will have your coaching call maybe later.
Yeah.
And we had a great time, and this is really
We
a
did.
great talk.
Yeah.
And for those who are skeptical, we're inviting you tonight. We have our live workshop again, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and here in the UK, it's 1 a.m. So if you really wanted to do it, there's always a replay where you can watch it. So this is, guys, for you. You don't have experience. If you're just looking for something for a change or a business venture, another income stream, just check this out. This is for everybody and for everyday people.
Okay.
So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Nice
Yes.
speaking
Thank you, Aaron.
virtually.
Yeah.
God bless.
All right, God bless you. Take care.
Take care.